Sai Ram class, how are you all? As class, you know that soon we will have exams. So, in this queue, we will start our revision and we will do the revision of chapter number 5 first, which is lines and angles. In today's class, we will discuss the important points of this chapter. So, let's start the revision. Line segment. Now, line segment is very much identical to all of us, that we know a line segment has two endpoints. That means there is a line and it has both the endpoints. Means no endpoint can be extended. It is fixed within the length of its own length. Okay, now you can see an example of PQ. It is a line segment. You can see that in P as well as in Q side we have dots, and this dots refers that this line could not be extended from any of the end points. Now, how we can represent a line segment? Here you can see that we have P and Q as its endpoints. So we write it as PQ, but we have to put or make a small line segment on the PQ so that it easily understandable that PQ is a line segment. That means PQ with a line with two dots on both the endpoints represents that PQ is a line segment. Okay, now you will gonna learn more clearly about this when we discuss our next topic, which is line. Now we all know that line segment have two endpoints, but in case of line, both the endpoints could be extended. Okay, that is why we have arrow on its both the endpoints. Arrow represents that we can extend it endlessly. Okay, let's see on its definition that if we extend two endpoints in either direction endlessly, either direction means any of its endpoint, then we can call it as a line. So that means a line has no endpoint because both of its side could be extended endlessly. That is why we could not call them as endpoint, because line is not ending on these point, it could be extended endlessly. Now you can see here an example of a line which is AB having arrows on both of its side. Now how we can represent a line? So here you can see as it has A and B on both of its side, so we can write it as AB. But as in case of line segment, we learned that we have to put a line segment on above the alphabets. That means, for example, here we have PQ, so we have to put a line segment above PQ. Similarly, in case of line, what we will do? We will put a small line with two arrows on both of its side, which represents that it is a line. You can see here AB with a line having arrow on both of its sides means AB is a line which could be extend from both the sides endlessly. Okay, now I hope that it is clear to you that how we can represent the name of a line and line segment. Similarly, we have a case with ray. Now let's first of all focus on the definition of ray, that a ray has one endpoint And from other side of ray we can extend it endlessly. Means ray is a combination of line segment and line, in which on one side we have a end point as we have in line segment, whereas on the other side we have a arrow, which means we can extend that line from that side endlessly as we have in line. So arrow could be of two types, one in which arrow is on its right side and other in which arrow is on its left side. Now how we can represent a ray? So let's focus on this ray. We have PQ in which arrow is in the side of P. So while representing its name, we put dot on that side where we have dot, means as in this case we have dot in O, so we put dot on O side, and we have P on its, we have arrow in its P side, so we put arrow towards P. Now look at another ray in which we have O and Q. So you can see here we have arrow on the side of Q, that is why we put arrow towards Q and dot towards O. Okay, so you have to be very careful while you have to represent or write name of a line, line segment or ray. Now our next topic is angle. So let's first define what is an angle. An angle is formed when lines or line segments meet. Now what does that means? So suppose we have two line segment and we make it or meet them in such a way, so we have an angle in between them. Similarly, when we take a line and we intersect them, when we take two lines and we intersect them, we have four angles which formed with the help of these two lines. You can see in this figure also that how a line and line segment helps or form angles. Here with the help of three line segments we have three angles, and here with the help of two lines we have four angles. Okay, now the another important point is the point of intersection called vertex, means where these lines or line segment meet, we have called that point vertex. For example, in this, where these two line segments are meeting, then this point where they are intersecting is called vertex, and vertex is the place where from where we can identify or define that what measure of angle it is. Okay, similarly here this point A and this point C is the vertex. Now in this case we have O as a vertex for all the four angles. Now let's move on to another topic. Now we have two important relative angles in this chapter. The first one is complementary angles and the second one is supplementary angles. So let's focus on complementary angles first. So its definition is when the sum of measures of two angles is 90, means when the sum, when we added two angles, exactly two, okay, and their sum is 90 degree, then these angles are called supplementary angles, means they are called supplementary for each other. Now what is, it is complementary. Okay, so now let's move on to supplementary. So as in the case of complementary angle, we have 90 degree. So in case of supplementary angle, the sum of two angles should be 180. Then we call these angles as supplementary angles. Okay. Again, complementary angles means when the sum of measures of two angles is 90 degree, then these angles are called complementary angles. And in case of supplementary angle, the sum should be 180 degree. Okay, don't get confused. Let's repeat one by one with examples. Now you can see here we have two pairs of angle. The first one is 30 with 60 and the second one is 35 with 65. When we add 30 with 60, we get 90 degree, and when we add 35 with 65, we get 100 degree. So on the basis of definition of complementary angles, when the sum of two angles is 90, then they are known as complementary angles. That means this pair of angle is complementary, whereas this pair of angle is not complementary. Now let's focus on what is given below, that whenever two angles are complementary, each single angle means from one of them, each of the angle is said to be complement of the other angle. That means in this example, 60 degree is the complement of 30 degree and 30 degree is complement of 60 degree angle. Okay, similarly it is again given in below. Now after complementary, let's focus on supplementary. Here you have two pairs of angles. The first one with 180, the second one with 135 and 45. So when we added them, we get 180 degree, because 100 plus 80 is 180. Whereas when we add them, we get 180. So we can say that both the given pairs are supplementary angles. Now when two angles are supplementary, then each of the angle is said to be supplement of the other. That means 80 is supplement for 100 degree and 100 degree is supplement for 80 degree. Whereas in another pair, 135 is supplement for 45 degree and 45 degree is supplement for 135 degree. I hope you all are very clear that complementary angles in which sum of measure of two angles is 90, and whereas in supplementary when the sum of measures of two angle is 180. Now let's move on to another topic, which is adjacent angles. Now here the term itself refers that adjacent means angles which is beside each other. So let's see what kind of other things or situations should be in between adjacent angles. The first one is they have common vertex. Now we all know that what is vertex. Vertex means where two lines or line segment intersect to form an angle. Here in this figure, vertex is this point, and in this figure we have this point as vertex. Now second situation is they have a common arm, means adjacent angles are those which have one arm common in between them. Here you can see that in this figure, this arm is common in between angle 2 and angle 1. Similarly, in this figure, this arm is common in between angle 2 and angle 1. Now, the third situation is the non-common arms are on either side of the common arm. Means, here we can see that in given figures, this and this arm is non-common arm, So these non-common arms should be either side of the common arm. Means if it is a common arm, so these two uncommon arms should be on the either side. Mean one arm should be on the left side, so other arm should be on the right side. Okay, so here we can easily see that yes, the two uncommon arm are on the either side of the common arm. Similarly in this figure also. So given figures are the example of adjacent angle. So these 3 points are very important to prove two angle whether they are adjacent or not. Means all the 3 points should be followed, only then they are known as adjacent angle, not one, not two, all the 3 points. Okay, so let's move on to our next topic, which is linear pair. Now the term itself refers, linear means a line, pair means the group of two. Now let's focus on its definition, that linear pair is a pair of adjacent angle. Means in linear pair, angles are likely to be adjacent and whose non-common side are opposite rays. Opposite rays means the non-common arm should make a straight line. Let's read further. In first example, observe that the opposite rays, now these are the opposite rays, which are, and they are also the non-common arms for angle, means for this adjacent figure, in which angle 1 and angle 2 we have. And when we add angle 2 and angle 1, we get amount 180. So indirectly, linear pair means group of two angles. When we add them, we get a sum of 180 degree. Okay, now here you can see when we add angle 2 and angle 1, we get 180 because their sum making a straight line, which means 180 degree. Whether in another figure there is no straight line, means non-common sides are not opposite rays, that means it is not a linear pair. Now read further in the last, the angles in the linear pair are supplementary. Here you can see in the last, the angles in a linear pair are supplementary, and we know that supplementary means when we add two angles, their sum should be 180, then they are known as supplementary. Okay, now the last topic is vertically opposite angle. Now you can see in this figure that when two lines intersect each other, then we have four angles. Okay, now read its definition. When two lines intersect, the opposite angles are termed as vertically opposite angle to each other. Opposite angles means angle 3 is opposite for angle 1. That means angle 1 and 3 are making vertically opposite angle. Similarly, angle 4 and angle 2 are opposite to each other. That means 2 and 4 together are making vertically opposite angle. Again, you can see 1 is on the opposite side of 3. That means angle 1 makes with angle 3 the pair of opposite vertically opposite angles. Similarly, angle 4 and angle 2 are making another pair of vertically opposite angle. Now the another important thing in vertically opposite angles is vertically opposite angles so formed are equal, means vertically opposite angles are equal to each other. So we can say that angle 1 equals to angle 3. Similarly, angle 2 equals to angle 4. Okay, this is the very important point, that vertically opposite angles are equal to each other. Various pairs of lines. So The first pair of line is intersecting lines. Now, what is intersecting line? When two lines, so let's take L and M, intersect if they have a point in common. You can see in this figure that this line and this line have this point in is common. When we extend this line, it will go that way and this will go that way. So this is the intersecting line for these two lines. Similarly, you can see in this there are various intersecting points for all the lines. You can see here, let's see closely. You can see that all these points are intersecting points where various lines are intersecting. Okay, that means when two lines cross each other, then the common point in between them is known as the intersecting point, and in that way these two lines are termed as intersecting lines, means which are intersecting each other. Let's see further what is in the definition. You can see here the common point of there is known as point of intersection. Okay, that means we can say intersecting point or point of intersection. Now, the next type of intersecting line in which we're gonna learn transversal. Transversal is a line that intersects two or more lines at distinct point. Distinct means different point. Now you can see here we have three lines, and this line intersect all the three lines, all the three previous prior lines in various points. It intersect it here, it here, and it here. So we can say that this diagonal line means this diagonal line is the transversal line for all the three lines. Also, you can see in this example that these two lines and the third one line is intersecting the prior two lines in distinct point. So we can say that this one is the transversal line. Okay. Again, line that intersect two or more lines at distinct point is called transversal. Now, let's see more example. You can see here that this and this line L, M, M. We have two lines, and this P line intersect L and M in distinct point, in different points. Whereas in this case, line L and M crossed by line P in a single point. So we can clearly see and say that this is not a case of transversal, whereas this is an example of transversal. Now, in this series of learning about transversal, we're gonna learn how many types of angles made by a transversal when it intersect lines. So let's take a transversal P intersects line L and M in two distinct points. So you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Total 8 types of angles formed by a transversal when it intersect two lines. Okay. Now these types of angles have a certain name. So first of all, we have to see what kind of name is given to such angles. So you can see here the most two simple name are interior angles and exterior angles. Now we all know the meaning of interior, which means of inside, and exterior means of outside. Okay, so it simply means interior angles contain or consist all the angles which are inside or which are in between two lines. So you can see angle 3, angle 4, angle 5 and angle 6 are in between two lines which were crossed by transversal P. So we can say that angle 3, 4, 5, 6 are interior angles, whereas those angles which are not in between these lines or on the either side of the lines are known as exterior angles. So you can see here that angle 1, 2, 7 and 8 are our exterior angles. Okay class? And the next type of angles is pairs of corresponding angles. Now, what are corresponding angles? So, it is a transversal, and for corresponding angles, we have to look on the one side of transversal. So, look at this side of transversal. Now, one exterior angle making pair with one interior angle. Okay, one exterior angle with one interior angle on the same side of transversal. Then they are known as corresponding angles. That means angle 1 with angle 5. Similarly, for angle 3, we have angle 7 for corresponding angles. You can see here angle 3 is an interior angle and angle 7 is an exterior angle, and both are on the same side of transversal. Now let's look at another side of transversal. This one exterior angle with one interior angle. Similarly, the another pair of interior and exterior angle is 4 and 8. So we can say that in such a way, angle 2 making corresponding angle with 6 means making pair of corresponding angle with angle 6, and angle 4 is making pair of corresponding angle with angle 8. Now let's see the another type of pair of angle which is made by a transversal is pairs of alternate interior angle. Now see, it contains interior. That means we will only talk about interior angle, which is 3, 4, 5 and 6. And also there is a term alternate. That means we have to take alternate of interior angle. So for 4 we have alternate 5. Alternate means the another side of transversal. Okay, so you can see here angle 4 is making pair of alternate interior angle with angle 5, and similarly angle 3 will make pair of alternate interior angle with angle 6. Okay, similarly we have another type of pair of angles which is pair of alternate exterior angle. Now in this case we will only see exterior angles and alternatively. So angle 2 is making pair of alternate exterior angle with angle 7, and angle 1 is making pair of alternate exterior angle with angle 8. Okay, it just terms. We have to learn terms and then we will easily get to know about all types of angles. Now the next one is pairs of interior angles on the same side of transversal. Okay, the first main term is interior angle. That means we have to look only for interior angles. Second term is, okay, so we have to only look for interior angles. Now the second more important term is on the same side. Okay, so that means 3 is making with 5 and 4 is making with 6 pair of interior angle on the same side of transversal. This is what type of angle is known as which term. In this slide we learned that what is the term used for a certain type or certain pair of angles. Okay, I hope it is very clear to you all. Now let's move on to another slide in which we're gonna learn when a transversal crosses parallel lines. In that case, when we have these 4 means these 8 angles, then what are the relation between these angles? Okay, here we only learned that what term we have to use for that or these certain angles, but this is the case when a transversal cuts two random lines. But what will happen and what will be the relation between these pairs of angles when a transversal intersects two parallel lines? Okay, so let's see what will be the difference when a transversal intersects two parallel lines. In that case, we also have 8 angles, this and these 4s. Okay, and we have same terms as we have just learned, but the only difference is there is certain relation between these types of these pairs of angles. So let's learn what are the relation in between them. So when a transversal intersects two parallel line, then in that case each pair of corresponding angles are equal. It is very important. When a transversal intersects two parallel lines or parallel lines, then each pair of corresponding angles formed are equal to each other. That means we know that what are corresponding angles. If this is two parallel lines, then we know that this angle is corresponding to this one, this angle is corresponding to this, similarly this with this one and this with this one. Okay, so that means in case when a transversal intersects two parallel line or parallel lines, then this angle is equal to this angle. If it is of 90 degree, this will be of 90 degree also. Similarly, this angle is equals to this angle. In case this is of 100 degree, so it is also of 100 degree. Okay, I hope you are getting it very well. Now the next type of pair of angle is vertically opposite angle, about which we learned in our previous class. Vertically opposite angles means when two lines intersects each other, then opposite angles are known as vertically opposite angle. and they are equal to each other. That means this equals to this, similarly this equals to this, and in this case this equals to this and this angle is equals to this angle. Okay, this is very much clear to the all since our previous class. So let's see another type of pairs of angles. So the third one is alternate interior angles. So when a transversal intersects parallel lines, then each pair of alternate interior angles so formed are also equals to each other. That means we all know that alternate interior angles means this angle is alternate interior with this one and this angle is alternate interior with this one. That means in case when two parallel lines intersects by a transversal, then each pair of alternate interior angles are equals to each other. If it is of 75 degree, this is also of 75 degree, and if in case it is of 18, it is also of 18 degree. Okay class? And the same case we have for alternate exterior angle. Alternate exterior angle are also equal to each other. Let's move on to next type of pair of angle, which is pair of interior angle on the same side of transversal. They are supplementary. That means if a transversal intersect two parallel lines, then each pair of interior angle on the same side of transversal are supplementary. That means their sum will give a addition or sum up of 180 degree. Okay class? But these all things are only when parallel lines are intersect by transversal. Okay, now the another important thing is we can say that the lines are parallel if we can verify at least one of the above mentioned condition. Okay, means if we can prove any one of them for two pair of lines, then we can say that these lines are parallel to each other. Okay class? So this is it for today. You have to practice the concept related to each and every chapter for your exam. Till then class, be in touch with your study. Thank you.